Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we will study the different topics including the cytoskeleton. Cyto means related to the cell, and skeleton, as our body has a specific skeleton, like that some filaments in the cell, they are present to support the cell existence, to support its structure. So different types of the cytoskeleton filaments, they may be intermediate filaments, microtubules or thin filaments, or the thick filaments, they are present inside the cell. The fibril proteins of the cell are usually organized into the filaments or the tubules. These originate as precursor protein molecules synthesized by the ribosomes in the cytoplasm. The precursor molecules then polymerize to form the filaments. A special type of stiff filament composed of polymerized tubulin molecule is used in all cells to construct the strong tubular structure that are the microtubules. A primary function of the microtubules is to act as the cytoskeleton so that it can provide the rigid physical structure for certain parts of the cells. So in this way they are going to support the cell structures. The next part of the cell, a very important part, which is the control center of the cell, named as nucleus. It is the double nuclear membrane. It has the double nuclear membrane and matrix are contiguous with the endoplasmic reticulum. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. Briefly, the nucleus contains large quantities of DNA, which are actually the genes. The genes that determine the characteristics of the cell's proteins, including the structure proteins, as well as the intracellular enzymes that control the cytoplasmic and nuclear activities. The genes also control and promote reproduction of the cell itself. Then comes its membrane, which is called the nuclear membrane, and it is permeated by thousands of the nuclear pores, as you can see from this picture, that in between this nuclear envelope we have different types of the pores. These one, and this nuclear membrane, it is the double layered membrane. The outer membrane is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum of the cytoplasm, and the space between the two nuclear membranes is also continuous with the space inside the endoplasmic reticulum. The nuclear membrane is penetrated by several thousand nuclear pores, and large complexes of protein molecules are attached at the edges of these pores. From this animation, you can see the functioning of the nucleus. The DNA, which is the hereditary part of the cell, that is present inside the nucleus. Different types of the proteins, they are synthesized, and these orders comes from the DNA, which is present inside the nucleus. So it is overall controlling the cellular activities. The chromatin, condensed DNA, is found in the nucleoplasm. This you can see from this picture. That is the chromatin material, that is DNA, and close to that we have the nucleolus also. It may be one or more per nucleus, and it contains actually the RNA and proteins. Function related to the nucleolus is to form the granular subunits of the ribosomes. Specific DNA genes in the chromosome cause RNA to be synthesized. Some of this is stored in the nucleoli and most of it is transported outward through the nuclear pores into the cytoplasm. After that, we have a very specific function of the cell, that is called the endocytosis. Endo means inside and cytosis the process related to the cell, and it is the receptor mediated endocytosis. Why it is named as such? Because we have in this process the substances, they are going inside the cell, and it is receptor mediated process. Firstly, they are going to be attached with the specific receptors through which they are transported to the inside of the cell. Molecules attached to the cell surface receptor concentrated in the clathrin coated pits. Clathrin is a very specific protein. You can see this one around the pit on which we have the different receptors. The substances, they are going to be attached with these receptors so that the specific types of the filaments, actin and myosin filaments, contract to form an invagination around these substances, so that a vacuole, food vacuole, that is formed in this way. It is also ATP dependent and involves recruitment of the actin and myosin filament as shown by this diagram. The process of the endocytosis mainly is of two types, pinocytosis and phagocytosis. Just the difference is the size of the substance molecule. If it is of smaller size, the process is called pinocytosis, and if the molecules, they are of larger sizes, so that it is called the phagocytosis. And both of these, they are types of the endocytosis. So either the smaller size molecules or the larger size molecules, they are carried out or transported inside the cell. This process is called the endocytosis. Molecules of protein attaching to the membrane. The molecules usually attach to specialized receptor, as I have shown previously you. Then they are carried inside the cell, this one. Previously we have studied the function of the lysosome. That is, they have the specific hydrolytic enzymes and digestive enzymes which act on the digestive vesicle so that they degrade or they break all the substances into smaller pieces to be easily digested. Then the digested part gives energy to the cell and the waste material that is excreted out of the cell. This is the whole process of phagocytosis, and it is assisted by the lysosome to be digested properly. Once the digestive vesicle, that is broken down and release energy, and that energy that is utilized for the cellular machinery. This is an animation to show the process of the phagocytosis, how it's goes inside to the cell. The substance is either the larger size or the smaller size. They are going inside the cell. Another animation just to clear the how it is engulfed by the cell and becomes a part of the cell membrane, become a part of the cell. This is somewhat difficult at this stage, but just have a look on this animation, and after that we will discuss in following lectures the details of these also. But you can see the different substances or enzymes or hormones, they are going to be attached with the specific receptors present on the cell membrane, and after that process they are carried inside the cell. Now comes the energy process. How the energy that is created and given to the cell to be utilized for different process. For that purpose, we have certain steps. During first steps, the carbohydrates, proteins and fats, they are broken down into respective substances. Carbohydrates, they are converted into glucose. The fats, they are converted into fatty acids, and proteins, they are broken down into amino acids. Through certain process, they are converted into the acetyl-CoA, which combines with the oxygen to form highly energy compound, that is the ATP. A maximum of 38 molecules of ATP are formed per molecule of glucose degraded. So in this way, highly energetic product ATP is obtained, which is utilized by the different cellular processes. And this whole process that is taken inside the mitochondria, and that is why the mitochondria is called the stored energy powerhouse. This ATP molecule is utilized for different functions. Mainly, we have the transport of the substances through multiple membranes in the cell. Then we can have the synthesis of chemical compounds throughout the cell. And lastly, the mechanical work. In the end of the lecture, we have a specific type of the locomotion, how the substances or food vacuole, they can move from one side to the other side inside the cell. The specific movement is called the amoeboid locomotion, which is the continual endocytosis at the tail and the exocytosis at the leading edge of the pseudopodia. From this finger-like projection, you can see that is protruded out, and this finger-like projection is called the pseudopodia, and through which the whole cell that is moved to the other side. Attachment of the pseudopodia is facilitated by the receptor proteins carried by the vesicles, and forward movement results through interaction of actin and myosin, and it requires the energy. Synthesis of almost any chemical compound requires energy. The final major use of ATP is to supply energy for special cells to perform mechanical work, and then it can be utilized for the movement of the cell itself also. Then if the second type of the movement, that is the cell movement, is influenced by the chemical substances. That is called the chemotactic movement. Different chemical substances, chemotaxic substances, they are released at the local site to which the cells they are attracted, and they move towards the high concentration of these chemotactic substances, so that in this way a different type of the cell movement can take place. Lastly, we have the cilia and the ciliary movements, which occurs only inside the surfaces of the human airways and fallopian tubes. You can see these hair-like projections which move forward or backward in this way, and they are mainly present in the respiratory tract and the fallopian tubes. The cilia moves forward with a sudden rapid whip-like stroke 10 to 20 times per second, beginning sharply where it projects from the surface of the cell, and then it moves backward slowly to its initial place. Although not all aspects of the cilia movements are clear, but we can have some of the points related to the mechanism of the cilia movements, that are firstly the 9 double tubules and the 2 single tubules are all linked to one another by a complex of the protein cross linkages. This total complex of tubules and cross linkages is called the exome. It is called the exoneme. Secondly, even after removal of the membrane and destruction of other elements of the cilium beside the exoneme, the cilium can still beat under appropriate condition. Third, there are two necessary conditions for continued beating of the exoneme after removal of the other structures of the cilium. That are, number one is the availability of the high energy compound that is called the ATP. This one you can see here, this one, that it is the ATP dependent, and it also requires the calcium and magnesium ions. So these are some of the types of the ciliary movements through which the cell can move. With this we complete our today's lecture. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.